Hi, welcome to the MaryLee Herrmann Show. Thanks for being here. Well, if you know me at all, whether we've met in person or if you've followed my blog, I'm a daddy's girl. From before I was born, I was a daddy's girl. I have two older brothers, and then I was the first girl. Therefore, I earned, simply by being a girl, the nickname Princess when I was still in the womb, I think. And my whole life, my daddy called me Princey. I was his princess. And you know that if you know me at all, or now you'll find out, he was my person. My dad, he was my daddy, because he was my best friend my entire life. My entire life. No matter how much I'd screw up, no matter what insecurities I'd have, no matter what I needed, he was always there. And about 6 years ago, well, 5.5 years ago, I received a text. Was living and working in Colorado, and where I'd been for years, and he was in Ohio, where I was born, and where he raised 5 kids. And the text said that he had days, maybe weeks, not months. It was from my brother, and that's what the doctors had told him. And I prepared myself. Well, first I crumbled to the ground, because on the phone, we would talk at times, but on the phone you just don't really see how people's condition can digress, can decline. And especially because Daddy was always, kind of putting on a brave front and wanting to continue to be there for me and my siblings. And I ended up flying to Ohio, prepared to say goodbye to him. And he rallied. We were together every day except one for 8 months. And on January 11th, 5 years ago, he passed away. And I talked about writing things in a planner so that to make them real, but that's one date I'll never need to write down, because I was with him, which I'm so grateful for. But it hurts. I mean, I just miss him so much. And it helps that, I have other friends who, they've also lost a parent, and that we're, we console each other. And that helps, but it doesn't change the reality of that he's gone. And I do my best to remind myself that he's still with me. And he was the one who'd always encouraged me to move to Los Angeles. I'd be so confused and trying to figure out what should I do with my life. And he'd be like, Princey, maybe you should move to LA. I mean, that's where they're making movies, and you're a storyteller. And I was so grateful for how much he believed in me, but I didn't believe in myself. And so it's crazy that it wasn't until after he passed away that I finally found the courage to do it, to move to LA. And it's just January 11th is just, it's such a hard day. And I've over the few years, I'll try to tell myself, like, okay, we'll be ready. And sometimes it's like, all right, well, just, you're just going to go and do whatever you need to do for yourself that day. Or if I was working, it's like, okay, well, that's good. You know, you'll be distracted for those hours. And then when you're not working that day or whatever, you can do what you need to for yourself. But ultimately, it hurts so much when I think about the fact that he's not here. And I still want to call him. And I still want to tell him good news. And I still want to lean on his shoulder. I still want his hugs. Let's see if I can get that damn glare off of there. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but he's like such a twinkle in his eye. And such a smile and a hug for everybody who came into contact with him. Only I was lucky because I got to be his daughter. I got to be his Princey. And I want to honor him, and I want him to be proud of me, and I want to feel like, oh, you know, I'm taking this grief and it's making me, you know, I'm turning it into a positive. But sometimes, damn it, it hurts too much, and I just miss him so much. And I think, why couldn't I, when he was still here, have done what it would take to be more of have a thriving career, and to really, really make him proud of me while he was here. And what's crazy is that I have another friend who actually, she was saying her situation with her mom though, and I just would feel like, oh my gosh, how immature. I think, okay, that whole thing about being in your 50s, and you know, it's like you were 51 when he left, when he passed away, and yeah, you grieve for a little bit, and of course be sad. But when he was the person that I leaned on more than anybody in my whole life, I mean, my whole life, it's just not, it's like, okay, how much time does it take to fill that void? And does that void ever get filled? A friend of mine was saying, I was so happy almost in a way when she was saying about how she feels similar about with her mom, and that she lost her mom, and that she's like kicks herself in the butt thinking like, why can't, you know, why couldn't she have done what her mom always encouraged her and gave her the support and believed in her? Why couldn't she have, you know, lived up to that when her mom was alive, and really let her mom see what how much her support and encouragement meant, and that it actually did something, and that it wasn't, you know, that it didn't have to wait until after her mom was gone till she really was able to utilize that. And it was just, I kind of felt like a little bit like, oh good, I'm not the only one, because I really do sometimes just feel like I'm not, like, it's okay to grieve, but am I supposed to be more of an adult about this? And am I not only immature, but, you know, I'm sensitive. And I grew up, other than Daddy, I had a lot of people in my life that thought being sensitive was a weakness, and it wasn't until I was an adult that I realized that it wasn't. And so people were constantly trying to toughen me up, except Daddy. Daddy just always appreciated who I was. And, you know, when that person's gone, but so sometimes I'll start thinking, am I just being too sensitive? And or am I feeling sorry for myself? And there's just so much pain sometimes. And I think, oh my gosh, I don't want people to know, because I want to look strong, I want to look tough. And then I'll think, oh, well, you got to be tough and strong for yourself. And it's nuts how one day I can just feel so able and confident, and I'll and I'll even sometimes I'll thank Daddy, and I'll just kind of feel him present, and just be grateful, and that I had him when I had him. And then some days I just feel like, oh my gosh, really, MaryLee, like this is where you are, like this is what you brought yourself to. And I think, like, can you not, can you do this? And I'm not even sure what this is, but I feel at times I'll just really just so lost without him. And then I think, well, that's not really fair to him, because he wanted me to be happy. He wouldn't want me to be sad. And I get that. And I'm just thinking of how he'd always say, that's the way it goes sometimes. You'd be talking about something, he's like, yep, oh, MaryLee, Princey, that's the way it goes sometimes. And he's so right. But when it comes to him being gone, it just so much deeper than that. And I want to honor him more. And I want to honor his memory. And I know that by doing for myself what I need to is one of the best ways to do that. But man, it's not always easy. And I do believe. Okay, moments I have doubts. Ultimately, I believe that, I do believe he's up there. And I get it. That, well, I'm not really sure what I get. I just know that he is looking out for me. And I know that he did give me the encouragement and the support that to be able to go on and to look out for myself. But I also know that not maybe, God, I miss him so much, that on January 11th, day after tomorrow, I could maybe use, scratch the word maybe, I could use a little bit of thoughts, and just maybe sending some energy my way, because I'm not sure if it's going to be a tough day or not, and how I'll be during it. And I know that the best way to get something is to ask. So I'm just going to ask if you could just maybe send me a virtual hug on Monday, the 11th of January. I'd really appreciate it. All right, well, thanks so much for sticking here with me today, the MaryLee Herrmann Show. And I hope you go and have a great day. And what a soul. What a soul. All right. Thanks so much.